So thanks everyone for joining, and we'll be working again on a goal or a resolution. So if you have one of those in mind, anything that you've been working on, anything that you're working towards, that's what you can use in the process today. Today's hypnosis, we're going to be doing some positive associations with that goal, that resolution, that thing that you're working on, that thing you want to be doing. And we're going to have you do some work creating some negative associations towards the thing that distracts you most. And don't worry, it won't make it so that you never want to do that thing again. So if you are, let's say, trying to eat healthier and your big distraction, your big thing that thwarts all of your best intentions is let's say eating chocolate, this process today won't make it so that you never ever want to have chocolate again. It'll just make it so that that pull, that desire, that thing that knocks you off course a little bit isn't as strong, isn't there. And so you'll be able to make a positive choice. You'll be able to pause when you want chocolate, when you're going to grab that distraction, that thing that throws you off your mark with your goal. There'll just be a little bit of a pause, and you'll be able to make a decision rather than being driven by kind of an autopilot desire to do something that feels good. So it'll take away that strong desire to go towards that thing. But again, don't worry, you'll still be able to eat your chocolate or do your distraction. You'll just have more of a choice instead of being driven by it. So the hypnosis piece will be about 15 to 20 minutes. If you have any questions, you can type it in the chat and we'll go over those at the end. And if you stay tuned to the end, I do have an offer. We're going to put a link in the chat for an intention statement. One really powerful way to increase the success of your goals or resolutions is to have a clear intention statement. It increases your degree of success significantly. And it will not only have you create an intention statement, but also tie that statement to some really positive benefits associated with completing your goal or getting further along in your goal. And having that in mind is a really powerful tool. So stay tuned to the end, and Maddie's going to put that link in there for everyone. If there's any newbies to hypnosis, this is going to feel really similar to a guided meditation if you've ever done one of those. You can do it sitting, standing, laying down, whatever feels right for you. And we're going to be really working on the sensations of emotions and the sensations in our bodies. So it's not something that you have to be very, very deeply relaxed, that kind of hypnosis that we see in movies and on TV where people are so deep in that an earthquake could happen. We're not going to go that deep today. So and the good news is we don't have to go that deep in order for it to work. So you'll just be able to feel relaxed, and you'll be following along with the visualizations that I ask you to imagine, and we'll let your powerful subconscious mind absorb those and do the work for you. So do we have any questions so far? All right. Then without further ado, everybody, if you want to quiet your phones or create a setting where you're more comfortable, if you want to lay down or whatnot, you don't have to. Just kind of settle in, find a position that feels comfortable. You can go ahead and close your eyes. And take a few long, deep breaths. And allow your exhale to be even longer than the inhale. Allowing those long exhales to cue your nervous system, cue your body that it's time to relax. You can even make that exhale audible like a sigh. Really just let things go, the thoughts of the day, the tasks, the worries, the tensions. Give yourself permission, just for now, to let that go. You can pick it back up later if you want to. Good. With those long exhales, Take your body into that state of relaxation that it already knows how to achieve, allowing your mind and body to effortlessly find that next deeper state of relaxation. Good. And imagine now, or just pretend in your mind, that you're holding a seed. And that seed is powerful. It's packed with potential, the potential to grow a blade of grass that can crack and move pavement. Or maybe it's a seed of a fruit tree that can feed and nourish everything around it for decades. Or maybe your seed is a powerful oak tree that will be around for hundreds of years through wind, snow, and floods, offering oxygen and shade and strength for years and years to come. Just imagine that you're holding that seed in your hand. Perfect. And now, using your powerful creative mind, find a peaceful place in nature. It can be a place that you've been, or a place that you just create in your own imagination. Imagine that you're there in that beautiful, peaceful place in nature, holding that seed in your hand. Take a moment to feel maybe the sun on your skin. Maybe there's a light breeze. Maybe you can feel the beautiful relaxation of this place, the serenity, the calm of the nature around you. Good. And imagine that you can even smell the fragrances in the air. Maybe there are flowers or trees. Perfect. Imagine that you can even hear the sounds of birds singing. Maybe there's water flowing nearby. Maybe you can even smell the damp earth of that water flowing nearby. Bring in all your senses into this beautiful, peaceful place in nature. Feeling that deep sense of relaxation and of connection we can create for ourselves when we're out in nature. And imagine that you look around for just the right place to plant your seed. Looking for the right place, maybe with a view, maybe with water nearby, maybe a place that just looks so peaceful. And imagine planting that seed in fertile soil. Using your magical, creative mind. Any tools that you need are already there, or maybe you just want to use your hands. Noticing the smell of the fresh earth as you dig. Noticing the color of that rich soil. Even noticing the quality of the light around you. Plant your seed, taking your time, slowly digging a hole and filling it in, covering that beautiful, powerful seed. as you take in the beauty of this peaceful place in nature. Good. And now take a moment to think of a blessing. This seed will grow and strengthen in this magical, peaceful place, bursting into a strong plant as whatever you've planted here continues to grow. Your blessing will continue to help that seed grow. And as the seed grows, your goal, that mission, that thing that you want to strengthen in your life will strengthen and grow as well. So your blessing might be something like, as this tree grows, so will my business. Or as this blade of grass grows, so will my writing practice. Or maybe as this evergreen grows, so will my love for eating healthy. Think of that blessing and say it over that seed deep in the earth. Taking a moment to breathe in the air, the energy, the peacefulness of this magical place where you're planting this seed. Good. You've created your own act of magic here. And you can come back in your imagination to this magical place and check in on your seed if you want to. Or you can just trust the seed to grow and strengthen, sitting in this place of imagination, magic, deep in the earth where it will be nourished by this beautiful, peaceful place you've created in your own mind. And you can just be curious on how you will experience the creative magic of this seed growing in your everyday life. Allowing that to relax you, feeling that sense of peace and wonder that nature invokes for us. Good. You're doing so well. Now I want you to imagine the moment right before you take action on your goal. That place, that time, right before you do that thing that you have in mind, that goal. Imagining yourself there, noticing where you are, what room or space you're in. Noticing the time of day or night. Noticing what you're thinking. Noticing what you're feeling. Good. Now I want you to imagine as you're there, right before you get moving, get started on that goal you have in mind. Imagine those things that might tear your attention away. If your goal is to go running or exercise, you might notice that you'd rather sit and watch Netflix. Or maybe if you want to eat healthier, the thing that might tempt you away is your favorite sweet or processed food. Bring to mind that thing that hijacks your goal. Good. Now imagine you're in that same room or space where you're getting ready to do your goal or activity. And on one side of that room is that activity, that action, that positive thing that you want to do for yourself. And on the opposite side of the room or space is that temptation to do whatever behavior it is that you'd be doing instead of your goal. Good. Now imagine that space where that unwanted behavior, that temptation sits. In that same space is a pile of something disgusting. Use your creative imagination to really get into it. See something truly gag worthy. Maybe it's a cesspool or a giant bucket of cockroaches, maggots. Maybe it's vomit or something else. Use your creativity to find that thing or a pile of things that make you want to run in the opposite direction. And imagine it there on the side of the room, sitting where your temptation is, that thing that drags you away from your goals. Now imagine that you move into that space where your goal activity sits. That space where you're getting ready to do or where you are doing that action that you want to do. And while you stand there on the side of the room where that activity lives, where your goal lives, bring to mind a time that you have accomplished something. A time where you either finished something or moved further along in the progression of something you were working on. Maybe a time when you realized how far you've come, how good you've gotten at something. Feel how great that feels. How proud you were of yourself. Notice the thoughts that you might have been thinking to yourself. Maybe hearing what other people said to encourage you or acknowledge the work you've done. And notice that feeling in your body. When you're feeling good, when you're feeling proud of yourself, how do you experience that in your body? Maybe it feels light, warm. Maybe there's a sensation of expanding. Notice that wonderful feeling in your mind, in your heart, and in your body. Good. And you're holding these feelings as you're standing on the side of the room where you're getting ready to do your goal activity, where you are doing your goal activity. And as you stand on that side of the room, you look across to the other side of the side of the room where that distraction, that thing that pulls you away. You look over to that side and you start walking in that direction. And as you walk in that direction, you notice that pile of that thing that's so disgusting over there. As you walk towards that, watching Netflix or playing video games or whatever your distraction is, you arrive there and it's full of that really disgustingness, that thing that just grosses you out. And you fill your mind with that image of that disgust. It's so disgusting. Imagine that image and that feeling completely grossed out. You're there in that space where that distraction lives and it's filled with this disgusting thing. And as you're focusing in on it, really looking at the detail of that thing that is disgusting you so much, maybe you can feel that center of disgust living in the pit of your stomach. Maybe it feels like a gag building at the back of your throat. And you're there looking at your distraction as you're feeling so grossed out. Good, you're doing great. And now you turn and look at the side of the room where your goal is. And you notice how good it feels over there. And you start walking in that direction. And as you do, you feel all those feelings of being so proud of yourself, feeling good, feeling smart, feeling in control, feeling like you have mastery over this activity. Like it feels like a breeze, so easy. And as you arrive on that side of the room where your goal activity lives, you feel all those amazing feelings. As you look at that activity or think about getting ready for that activity, you feel all those amazing feelings. Feeling proud of yourself, feeling good, feeling that sense of, I've got this. I can do this. I rock this activity. Feeling how good that feels. Do the activity or just even getting prepared for it. Maybe you can even increase those feelings, imagining your powerful mind that you ramp those feelings up, feeling them in your body and in your mind, how good it feels to be so proud of yourself. And as you look at that goal activity, you feel so excited to do it because it feels so good, so amazing. And you love it. Perfect. And now you look across the room to that distraction on the other side of the room, seeing it there, seeing it next to that pile of whatever is so disgusting. Even though you really, really don't want to, you start walking towards it. That distraction, that activity that pulls you off track. And you feel so grossed out. And the closer you get, the more detail you can see of that thing that's so gross. That pile of maggots or cockroaches, that vomit, that cesspool, whatever it is. As you get closer and closer to that distracting activity, you can see the detail of that pile of grossness sitting right there next to it. And as you walk in that direction, you can feel that sense of discomfort, feeling of disgust, how bad it feels to walk towards that activity. Really get into it using your powerful creative mind to really feel yourself there on the opposite side of the room, next to that activity that pulls you away, feeling fully disgusted, grossed out. As you stand there with that distracting activity, you can't imagine why you'd want to be there, why you'd want to do that thing. It's lost its draw, it's lost its appeal. And so you turn and face the other side of the room, that place where your goal is, that activity or getting ready for that activity lives. And it feels so powerfully attractive. You'd want to be over there. You love to be over there. And you walk over there towards that goal now, towards the other side of the room with that wonderful activity that you just love doing. And as you walk, that feeling grows, that feeling of feeling proud of yourself, that sense of confidence, that sense of self-mastery, self-control, feeling so good and proud of yourself. Even imagining the people who love you and support you, cheering you on and helping you feel even better. You arrive there at that place and it feels so good. You're so glad for those positive feelings. They surround you. They fill that activity, that goal activity is filled with this positive feeling. And each time you think about doing that goal, taking steps towards that activity, that process, you'll notice this positive feeling. It feels so amazing. It's as if you can't imagine what it felt like to avoid this thing. It feels so good. You want to do it. You love to do it. You can't imagine doing anything else during that designated time. Perfect. And you'll bring that feeling of love for that goal activity back into the here and now. And each time you reach towards that goal, you take steps, movements towards that goal. Those feelings will continue to grow stronger and stronger now. Feeling so good. Good. And I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And on 5, you'll be awake, alert, and aware. Awake, alert, and aware, feeling refreshed and restored. 1, coming back into the here and now, back into your body and back into the present moment. 2, being curious and looking forward to how you'll experience that positive feeling whenever you reach towards your goal. 3, beginning to listen to the sounds around you, hearing the sounds inside the room and outside the room you're in. 4, wiggling fingers, wiggling toes, stretching into the body. And 5, eyes open, awake, alert, and aware. Awake, alert, and aware.